What's up, guys? Tim Zabriskie here, back at it again with the brand new vid. We got a very special show for you today. We're just gonna mix up the two different segments that I got going on, typically on every show. We got LA on the phone. What's going on, LA?
Hey, how are you?
We're doing fantastic, and we also got the president of wrestling, Mr. Phil Stanford. There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo!
And we
How
can
are
hear
you,
him.
sir?
Everything's great. We're gonna have a great little Sunday here. I know we're doing it early, but apparently there's how many hours of WWE programming today, Phil?
The kickoff starts at 5 and
5 o'clock
until at least 11 at this point. I don't know.
We're going to maybe 11:30 because that's the way that it goes. LA, so the XFL just made their announcement. They're coming back after a 19-year hiatus.
I know.
Geez. Now you weren't that big of a fan of the XFL, right?
Well, it was back in 2001, and it only lasted one season, and like they said, it was rushed. I maybe saw like a few games, and then it kind of like petered out. Like it got a good fan base in the beginning, but then it went away or like something like that. So I never really watched it. I have to say.
Phil,
maybe I was too young to watch it too.
Fill in the gaps on why the XFL had gone away, because it's actually a pretty hilarious story, LA, if you've never heard this before.
So there's a whole bunch of pieces that I barely even remember, but some of it was they wanted to compete at the same time as NFL. So it was like a combination of factors. Like, how can you have something that's different than the NFL that competes sort of with it?
Well, they were doing it right after the Super Bowl. They were playing all the way through the spring, and he's doing that again. He's claiming that now he's going to end up starting in like January, February is when the preseason's going to start, and it's going to go all the way, because he kept pushing that during the press conference the other night. 7 months of no football, and everyone's like, well, I don't know. They're like, oh, okay. Like, everyone thinks that this is a pretty bad idea.
I mean, I think the proof is in the pudding. You have to figure out if it will work or not. I think at the time it went there, a lot of the things they were doing on the production side of it actually then got replicated by the NFL. A lot of the overfield camera work that they were doing on wires and stuff like that. So it actually helped the NFL's production value in that respect.
Right.
But when it came to, why am I following football teams that are named after pro wrestlers if you're not a pro wrestling fan? And I think it got sold as a pro wrestling football entity. Then I remember, I think the prize for the team that won was $1 million. And if you think about it, okay, so there's a team of, I can't remember what he said he was capping the team sizes, 40, 30?
I think he said 40, yeah.
49.
49. LA says
right.
49.
So 49 people are going to split $1 million. So at the time in 2001, if that was the same case, because I can't remember the team size, that's a lot of people to be splitting $1 million with. And so it's not necessarily as big of a prize as it sounds. So it's not like each person got $1 million. I think, though, they could have caught on better. But NBC, who was a partner with them at the time, was also like, we're not going to give this another chance. We've blown, I think it was something like $30 million, $40 million of their own money to try to have it capture. And when it didn't after the first couple of games, they were like, no, we're good. We're done.
Exactly. LA, have there been any talks on any of the major networks or any of the players of the NFL in regards to how they feel with the XFL coming back, if anyone's going to try to play for them or anything like that?
I haven't really heard anything. I just know that, like, Vince McMahon said no one can have a criminal record. You have to, like, stand for the national anthem. Like, they're trying to make it just very family-friendly, like, straightforward. But, like, there's rumors because, like, Johnny Manziel from, like, who got, like, pretty much banished from the NFL is trying to make a comeback in the Canadian League. So he's an option. But, I mean, he had, like, assault charges against him, like, last year from an ex-girlfriend. So I don't know if that's going to happen. And then, like, you've heard of like Ocho Cinco and like T.O. talk about like wanting to play again sometime. So maybe they could do it if it's a little bit more friendly of a league, because last time it was about like hard hitting and all that stuff. But now with concussion protocols and all that stuff, they want to make it safer. So it's supposed to just be straightforward, like family friendly, easy to watch. Like, and they shorten it to like, they're trying to shorten like the game to like 2 hours.
Yeah, I think the 2 hour difference is gonna make a make it really interesting.
I think so.
Like,
I mean,
how do you feel about them taking away like halftime? Because that was the big thing he said. He said he wants to take away halftime.
I don't know how that's going to work. Like, some players need at least a little rest, or like they need like at least like a 10-minute break or something.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. They should kind of maybe make it like, you know how college has, for example, basketball, they only play two halves, 20-minute each, instead of like NBA's 4 quarters at 12 minutes each. They should do something like 20-minute like halves or something, or 25 minutes. So it's going to be shorter. They're trying not to have as many penalties and like just let people play, unlike the NFL. So he has to like really waiver that, because if you don't have like a little bit of a break, like their bodies are going to shut down, even if it is a 10-game season.
Yeah, definitely. But what I find funny, Phil, if I ask you this, he wants to make the XFL a 2-hour game, but then he wants to make wrestling tonight 6 freaking hours. Like, what are we doing here? What is he thinking?
I think that's a good question that a lot of people would like to ask him. I mean, this is also a huge now personal risk, because he does not have any financial partners. This is all his own money. He cashed in some of his own WWE stock in order to pay for this. It's $100 million right up front, out of his own pocket.
Yeah.
So, I think he realizes that it's a huge risk. I think that's why this time, and if memory serves me, and it might not, because it's been some time. When the XFL first came out, it felt like we're going to do the XFL, and then a month later, here's the XFL. It's like,
it was rushed. This time he's taking his time. They said.
Yeah, well, before he did it in a year, now he's giving himself 2 years. And going, Phil, with what you were saying before about his money, he sold a bunch of his stock. Now, keep in mind, the man is 72 years old. He doesn't give a shit. He's also like, he's also looking at it like, okay, well, I always wanted to do this, and he's 72. He's gonna be 74 or 75. I don't remember when his birthday is, but like when the thing launches. So I think he's at a point where he's just gonna do it. You know what I mean? He's just gonna have his fun. And if it doesn't work out, what does he have to lose? Not to mention, he sold the $100 million worth of stock, but he's still the majority shareholder of the WWE. So what does that tell you?
Well, and I remember a lot of people a few years ago when ratings weren't doing so well for the WWE were like, they need to fire Vince McMahon. Now, kind of a catch to that is in his contract, he has to be financially bought out, basically. So it's something like, I don't want to say the wrong number, but it's something high, like because it's based on the cash reserves of the company, and it's like $150 to $170 million that the company would have to pay him to fire him, basically. Yeah. And the WWE has a huge cash reserve as a top 500 Fortune company. They have one of the top cash holdings of any American company. Mm-hmm. They're not in a lot of debt. So this, again, like you said, this is very interesting that he would be willing to risk this. And that, again, there's a lot of planning that seems to be going on. It seems that there's already been some conversations about what television networks might be interested in getting in with him, even though he's not ready to.
Well, right now it's none, and at the same time, he said they're exploring a lot of different options in the sense of traditional broadcasting and the new broadcasting. So would we see it on the WWE network? Probably. I mean, he keeps saying he's trying to make it a whole separate entity, so maybe we'll get an XFL app in the same sort of regards
right.
as we're getting with everything else. So LA, a lot of the rules in the original XFL have turned into things that are in the current NFL. What sort of things do you think that they should bring back? What would interest you?
I think it's more like they said, no penalties. The game's just going to keep moving, like kind of let them play. I think that's good because sometimes you have games in the NFL that just keep like getting stopped for penalties and like all that stuff, and you see like the favoritism of certain teams, and that, you know, so I think it might be better that way, that kind of like let them play, but you have to be safe about it.
Yeah.
Which I think would be better and like a faster pace instead of like, oh, here we go, like timeout and like commercial break or like all these things that just slow it down and like stop the clock, and that's why the game goes 3.5 hours.
Exactly. And that also brings up a good point when it comes to what I think of when he's saying, yeah, we're going to make it a faster game, but as you just said, all the commercial breaks, that's where he's going to be getting ad revenue from, which is going to help fund this thing. So I don't understand what the hell he's talking about.
I don't know. I think it's like, and then he said that he's going to get like a lot of opinions from people, and that's why they announced it 2 years out, that they're actually going to take their time. They're going to like look at things on how to make it interesting, and people can share their opinions. I don't know. I think it might be a disaster, but like you guys said, it's like he's funding it. NBC's not a part of it, so it's all on him.
Definitely.
But I think there's ways to offset that ad revenue. I think you do less commercials, you raise up the prices per commercial. You do, and I can't remember what channel does this now, but for some games they'll have the game still on, but sort of minimize the screen a little.
They do like the picture-in-picture is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Product placement, all the uniforms have a huge Under Armour logo on it or something. You know, there's ways to sort of still get in that ad revenue. At the same time, like you said, depending on how it's distributed, if it ends up being a digital online model only, well, look at your other digital content. Not many of them really have ads built inside of them. Amazon Prime does now. CBS absolutely does. Netflix doesn't. I don't know if Hulu does now. I knew they didn't at one time. But so there's ways to modify this. I'm actually surprised some streaming services aren't doing more commercials now. So
yeah. But that's also the thing. It's like most people cut the cord in that sense so that they don't have to. But that's a completely different topic out of the gate. LA, Super Bowl's next week. Who do we got playing? Because I can't even remember.
Patriots, unfortunately, and the Eagles.
It's the Eagles and the Patriots. That's right.
Yeah, every year the Patriots are in it, which is like so boring. I don't even want to watch it, but you watch it, so you hope they lose. That's what my friend and I were saying. Like, you watch it, so you hope, you want them to lose. That's why.
So is it safe to say that we're betting on the Eagles for next week?
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. I like Nick Foles too. I just don't want to see the Patriots get another ring.
All right. So, LA,
yeah.
I'm going to pull up the website right now, sportsandchamps.com. Let the people know what it's all about.
So Sports and Champs is just a way for you to learn about sports in an easier way. Kind of breaks down like rules, positions, kind of certain understandings, penalties, things like that. And so you can be a part of the conversation.
Awesome. Great. All right. So, LA, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
And we will do it again next week, right before that Super Bowl, unless one of us is a little bit too pre-gamed, let's say.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
So that was LA from sportsandchamps.com. We will be right back, and me and Phil will be going over the Royal Rumble. Are you excited, Phil?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Well, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. 17 hours of professional wrestling. That's what they want.
It's the pregame for
what's up, guys? Tim Zabriskie here, back at it again with the brand new vid. So, today, since you already clicked on the video, you know we're doing yoga. The whole thing is that I've kind of really been slacking with working out lately. So, Ruru said, Timbo, I'm doing yoga, you're doing yoga, and that's it. Now I didn't have, so I found the old Timmy I gear. That's right. So we're going all out. We're doing it. Let's get into it.
We're going to start today at the back of your mat, standing with your feet together, big breath in, arms reach, exhale, take it down all the way over to plank. Hold it, and then walk it back to standing. Reaching back up, and dive it down, plank position. Hold, and walking back. 2 more times like that, just warming your body. And down, walking forward to plank. And walking right back up. Inhale, let's reach the arms up to the sky. And then exhale, take it back into plank. This time we're going to stay in plank position and move into our elbow touches, simply touching your knee to elbow 16 times. And 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Try to get physical contact if you can. Awesome, you guys, keep going. You're almost there. Engaging those oblique muscles. 4, 3, 2, and last one. And Chaturanga Dandasana all the way down. Upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a breather here, inhale. And then exhale, coming back into plank position. Starting with our side plank, go over to one hand, reaching the other arm up. And starting with a big circle of the arm. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold, and let's take a dip here. Bring it down with the body, and lift.
Not that funny, Rosa. Alright, so we're about 3 minutes into the tape. We've already taken a break. Apparently, I was doing the wrong stuff. I got bad form. Ruru was not happy about it. So far, we're doing a good job. We're working out again. So,
Inhale, one more, biggest breath of the day. Exhale, slowly bring your hands to your heart. Taking a moment here to thank yourself for your amazing practice today. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed our yoga in the snow. I can't wait to see you again. Namaste.
well, guys, as you can clearly see, yoga is a piece of cake. Anybody can do it. It's really simple. And not drinking a beer. Basically, Boho Beautiful, she he's really not that educated in the art of yoga. And clearly me, a beginner, picked up all of the tricks very quickly. So her pacing was really slow, and I barely broke her sweat. So, boho beautiful, you need to try again, try a little harder. And how did you guys think that I did? You could like this video, subscribe to my page, and leave me a comment down below and let me know which one of my movies is your favorite and which one needs a little bit of improvement. And I'll catch you outside. How about that?
This is the Honky Tonk Man, greatest intercontinental champion of all time, and you're watching the Tim Zabriskie Show.
I got long sideburns and my hair slicked back. I'm coming to your town in my pink Cadillac. I'm just a honky tonk man.
He's the honky tonk man.
He's the honky tonk man.
He's the honky tonk man.
He's cool. He's sexy. Bad.
Yeah, we saw him on, it was like Tuesday or something like that. That was sweet. Honky's the man, dude. Have you ever met Honky?
I have.
Oh man, he did a whole like a comedy show when we met him, and he was just shitting all over everybody. He literally was just he spent 15 minutes talking as Stu Hart, and I was just like, oh my god, this is bad. He's like,
I can only imagine.
Yeah. And then every once in a while he'd be like, by God, like just talking shit about JR, and the best was because it was on Monday for the 25th anniversary show.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Hello.
It's like cutting in and out.
The audio is cutting in and out, apparently.
Uh-oh.
That's what we're being told. We'll turn it down a little bit.
Should I sit back from the microphone slightly?
It's probably just me screaming. Thank you.
No, it's just. Do you hear my phone?
Do I hear your
Boogity boogity honky tonk man.
I don't hear your phone.
Take it off.
I'm hold on, the producer is yelling at us, folks. Hold on. What? Come on.
No. Are you on right now?
Yeah.
Yes, we're live.
We're live.
This is almost as fun as watching the yoga video, but it's happening live in front of us.
This is all happening live. Do you want? It's okay. It's all right. Everything's fine.
I want to cry.
Just like, what if I go like this? Hold on. What if I I could probably just do this, right? We'll change one setting, I guess, because why not, right? We're here.
Right.
Bring this down. We'll bring this down to there, and then maybe. See, I don't know. We'll leave it there. That seems like it's probably gonna be too low now, but it's all right. All right. So Royal Rumble tonight. It's gonna start in probably like 20 minutes. As far as I know. All right. So do you have the card? Did you grab it?
do have the card.
All right. Let's start with the pre-show because it's probably like all the good matches are probably on the pre-show, right? So who do we got?
They have 3 matches during kickoffs. Remember, kickoff starts at 5. It goes until about 7. So intermixed it between the whole let's warm you up for everything.
Okay.
They have 3 matches.
So all right, so we got 3 matches. Let's start with
3 matches.
So what's the let's start with the curtain jerk of the curtain jerk. What do we got?
How about the match we don't know about, which is for the WWE United States Championship. Champion Bobby Roode has an open challenge.
Oh, an open challenge for
to the world
for a match that has 2 people. I'm trying to take a guess here. Is what I'm trying to do. So, if there's both shows are on the card, I'm gonna go with Drew McIntyre. He's coming to the main roster.
Okay.
All right. What do you think?
It's So I'll be honest. I haven't watched SmackDown in a minute. So I was thinking the only thing I know about SmackDown right now is Rusev Day.
Oh, Rusev Day.
I could see Rusev or Mojo Rawley because now isn't he super serious Mojo evil? So
Mojo.
I'm the serious. My name is Mojo Jojo.
Mojo Smash. Okay.
See, we finally have a John Cena that went heel, and his name is Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, and he just sucks. All right, so I'm just gonna go with Bobby because I love Bobby. All right, so who's on the middle of the pre-show card?
Tag team action. We have the Revival versus the Balor Club of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Why isn't that not on the main show?
I just think it's timing. I think of everything they have to do. I mean, alone for both the women's Royal Rumble, that's an hour long.
Oh, God.
And that's just to get everybody into the ring. And then you have the men's, which is also an hour long. So already you've cut out 2 hours of your event. Plus now they're starting the event now back at 7. So they have 4 other matches on the card on top of that they have to be able to get through. So I just think that's it. The one quick thing I will say about this tag match that sort of throws me is during WWE 25, I was able to watch part of it, and you have DX come out and they're celebrating. You have Finn Balor, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson come out, and they too sweet each other. So a little bit of a nod to what's going on with the Bullet Club and their whole cease and desist, and you can't say too sweet.
Yeah.
And then here comes the Revival. Now, if you've been watching along with the videos that Cody Rhodes and the Bullet Club do, they go too sweet, fuck the Revival. So I really thought that crowd in New York, because the two most vocal crowds in WWE circles are Philadelphia and New York. So I really figured here's the Revival after a too sweet moment. You're going to get an F the Revival chant. And they did not take the bait. Instead, they started chanting Mike Chioda.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but you're absolutely right. They definitely had the great opportunity to take that, but I don't know. It doesn't make any sense why they didn't want to. Yeah,
right.
I get exactly what you're saying on that. Huh.
But now that Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson have rekindled their friendship with Finn Balor, everybody loves them, and everybody just they don't know what to do with the Revival. They don't like them, but they like them. So they're.
I think that does just come back to I don't know, the bookers, because the bookers they don't know what the hell they're doing, and you can clearly tell that they don't know what they're gonna do with the Balor Club at all. It's like just put them with AJ, just make the super group that everyone wants.
Right. And I'm sure there might be some little passing in the hallway again, like they've teased that before.
Yeah, they did that at SummerSlam last year, right? Or the year before?
Yes.
2000.
Yes. I'm going to say yes because I feel it's happened at least twice.
It's definitely happened twice, but still, it's just like, just come on. Just like, now's the time to do it. Especially with like, and you know what? It's funny because they just did this whole thing with New Japan, and I only saw a clip. I don't really watch a lot of New Japan. But they did a whole thing with, I guess Kenny Omega has been kicked out of the Bullet Club last night. And yeah, which is nuts, right? So to me, I was like, ooh, I'm the one. I'm gonna start this rumor. What if he shows up tonight and is in?
You know, what's funny is I was just looking at that because he was the U.S. champion in New Japan when Chris Jericho went over. That would be interesting if he went and faced Bobby Roode in that open challenge match. And here comes Kenny Omega. We saw Chris Jericho at Raw 25, so he's around.
Yeah, I don't think that they would save Kenny Omega for the pre-show though. They might because they kind of shit all over him. I feel, but then at the same time, it's I don't know. I feel like it's weird. I feel like there's one point of it where they don't like him, but then there's another part where it's like they like him, but they don't want to do anything with him yet. Right.
Well, the public face of why they do the kickoff show is to get people excited about what they're going to see for the pay-per-view. Right. So it's not going to be the throwaway matches. It's not going to be these horrible matches typically that it's supposed to get you amped up. So what if they did here's Kenny Omega in this open challenge match, and then they go into the Rumble, and then they bring him out in the Rumble too. Like, you've built an establishment with the crowd of like, who is this guy? If for those who don't know, and then you bring him in the Rumble too and get like that AJ Styles reaction.
Yeah, and I could see in theory how that would be great, but then again, I don't practically I don't see it working like that. I see them either if they run it back for the pre-show, that would be pretty freaking sweet. But did I just freeze? I think I froze. Did I freeze?
You did.
Great.
I don't know.
Great. Look at this dumbass face that I have whenever this camera freezes. Let's.
You were mid-sentence.
All right, we'll just put it on you.
And now the world is black. There you go.
Oh,
baby.
hey, we're back. All right, great. So yeah, I don't know. If we see Kenny Omega coming back, that would be amazing. And if they put him over too, that would be astronomical going into WrestleMania season. That they do need something like that to happen. But do I see it happening? No, I don't see it happening.
Right.
All right, so what's the main event for the pre-show?
It is a cruiserweight 6-man match between Kalisto, Lince Dorado, and Gran Metalik versus TJ Perkins, Gentleman Jack Gallagher, and Drew Gulak.
Okay. I like Drew Gulak. I know that's weird for me to even say, but I don't know. He's just not what they need in the cruiserweight division, but it's what they got.
I feel they've missed. I mean, everybody's been sort of saying this since they started 205 Live. They're sort of missing what they need, and they thought they had it with Enzo Amore. Like, okay, we'll bring in this established character, and like we'll put him there on the show, and like he's the linchpin to pull the show together. But it's like, wait a minute, you have all these guys who can run their own gimmicks, who don't need to do these. Every time you see them, it's a cruiserweight tag match, unless you watch 205 Live, and then you get a singles match. Like you don't. There's other ways to do this, and I don't like, and I'm a production nerd, so I catch little things, and so the fact that they pot down the intake noise, so basically the crowd noise is turned down on cruiserweight matches and turned up during women's matches. I've caught it. I've heard it both in person and on TV. So like it drives me nuts whenever I see it. And I'll be honest, I have not watched 205 Live this last couple of weeks, so I don't know how they're covering everything there. I really think that, Drew Gulak right now is the guy that I think they're trying to figure out, or maybe will be the guy to now lead 205 Live, or that they need to capitalize on a little bit more. But all of these guys are great, amazing wrestlers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just, I think they need a better or a different platform. And I'm not saying better because they're in the WWE. They have a TV show that's all about cruiserweight wrestling, except it has nothing to do with cruiserweight wrestling, except for the fact that the people who are on it are under 205 pounds.
Yeah, I agree. I feel that they're making it too much like every other one of the shows that they have. And that was what was so special back in the day in WCW with the cruiserweight division. It had nothing to do with Goldberg or with the NWO. It was just, it was essentially filler in that sense, but it was the best kind of filler. It was literally just the action. It was just them just, putting on these amazing matches. There was the only real sweet storyline that I really remember from that time was Dean Malenko and it was Jericho. Dean Malenko and Jericho. That was like the big angle that they had, where they did the unmasking, and it was Dean, and everyone the whole crowd just went, "What the fuck?" That was like the one that the whole thing. But whoever was booking that at that time, like in the back as the agent, was definitely just doing it completely different, and that's what made it so special. Now with what we have with 205, I just feel like they're just doing it like just like every other show. Every other thing that they're doing, you know what I mean? And it's just killing it, and not killing it as in like, oh yeah, they're killing it. I mean, like they're literally just murdering it in a bad way.
Right. Unfortunately, and it's unfortunate.
It is.
And the odd thing that I'm seeing happen. So for a while, you were seeing NXT and 205 Live, especially after the Cruiserweight Classic, become sort of the linchpin of, well, we're going to try to overtake now independent wrestling, that we see how this region, even though there's not territories, but regionally we can see that there's people who are being highlighted. So what if we take them off the playing board? Well, what's happened is other people have risen up, and the people that were no longer on WWE or hadn't found their way to WWE yet also found better opportunities. So,
Right.
you're actually seeing a little bit of a rise on Impact now because they're bringing in the Sami Callihan and Jake and Dave Christ and LAX. And, you're seeing a different caliber of people that you haven't necessarily always seen. That's not taking anything away from anybody who's been on Impact, but they're just bringing something different. And what's also interesting is Impact is also going to places where mainstream wrestling shouldn't be able to go anymore. Weapons and barbed wire matches and, crazy angles and all sorts of stuff. WWE, are they just sort of recycling? Are they just kind of doing the same thing? And I say that, and at the same time, they had NXT last night, which everybody is raving about and wishing that the mainstream product was like NXT.
Yeah, and I think that just has to go between who's in charge. We just had this full conversation with the XFL and everything like that on who's in charge and that old school mentality versus where we're going, and it's definitely going to be a much different game once Hunter, takes over completely, or if whatever happens with Shane and stuff like that. But definitely that they have the new age, they have the new wave of where we're going and things like that. All right, so are we on the main card now?
We are on the main card.
What do we got? Do you think that they're going to start us right with the women's Rumble right out of the gate?
I have heard mixed. Somebody else was trying to tell me earlier, but I can't find any verification of it, that the women's Rumble is going to be actually the main event. But I don't know that.
Oh, great. So that all the kids can go to sleep early? Is that what they're trying to do?
Oh.
Oh, yeah, it's 2018 and political correctness. But come on, let's just talk about the women's Rumble right out of the gate. All right, I'm all for this equal rights and women have the abilities to do everything and stuff like that. But an hour of 30 women entrances and are they going over the top rope? Are they going through the middle? Is it just what?
I'm gonna say it's an over the top rope battle royal. Or Royal Rumble, like it always has been.
All right, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be offensive. I just don't think it's to me. It's just gonna be really boring. That's if they did it with 15 to 20, that would be one thing. But a full 30 at 2-minute intervals? Come on,
I think the interesting thing that'll come out of that. I mean, both of them go through that, and it's not even necessarily because it's women's wrestling. It's a little bit because it's the Royal Rumble. You're not seeing, your characteristic trademark spots from everybody. You're not seeing, all this great wrestling because it's a fight. The Royal Rumble is a fight. You come in, you kick, you punch, you get thrown over the top.
You scratch, you claw, you rip their clothes off. I get it. I know how they book it. I know.
Well, that's just it. The reason why people like the Royal Rumble is for two reasons. It's either A, because of the surprises and who we're wanting to see, or not even knowing that we want to see, but then when they come out, oh my gosh, it's them, whoever them is, and then whoever's going to win at the end, who then goes on to WrestleMania. Now, the men's are going to screw it up because it's going to be probably Roman Reigns again for the fourth time in 5 years.
Dude, he's totally freaking winning this thing. He just lost to the Miz on Raw. He gave up the Intercontinental title. He's totally winning the Rumble this year.
Well, then again, he was in trouble because he was involved with that alleged steroid ring.
Yeah, he's not getting sued though. They're not going after him.
Right, they're not right, but still, it doesn't mean he wasn't involved, and so allegedly. Need to capture that one, but I do have the names of the people who've been announced so far for the Women's Rumble if you want it.
Okay, so all right, so let's just call it. Who do you get for the Women's Rumble this year?
I'm gonna go Charlotte Flair, and up until about 30 minutes ago, I was gonna say Ronda Rousey.
She's the champion, though, isn't she?
But is she the champion right now? Actually, I've lost track.
She's the freaking champ. She can't win it.
Okay, then I don't know. I have no clue. Okay, Becky Lynch.
This isn't Hulk Hogan 1991. Didn't Hogan win that when he was a champion in 91?
He joins it, so that way she gets to pick her opponent. Somehow they'll do some.
Yeah. And then it'll be Psycho Sid that she wrestles at WrestleMania, right?
No, because you still have Carmella who needs to cash in her Money in the Bank opportunity. So
we're going to go with Santina Marella. That's who I'm going to pick.
You know what? All right, the top three I have heard in the last week. I've heard Ronda Rousey. Well, it
Yeah.
just got confirmed on her way to Colombia to film a movie, so she is not going to be in the Royal Rumble.
Bullshit. She's working us. She's
There you
gonna
go,
be there.
which is very possible too. I've heard James Ellsworth. Well, I know from some personal experience. Yeah, he's not going back to WWE. And then Santino Marella, and it's like, wait a minute. After the heat the WWE got for trying to actually using James Ellsworth to win the Money in the Bank for Carmella, there's no way in hell that I think they would bring back Santina to win the
I love how you're
women's
speaking
Rumble.
about Santina as if it was an actual person too. That's
Right.
fantastic.
That was what she was called when he was her.
What's this deal with James Ellsworth? Or can we not talk about this? No.
Well, I mean, he was fired from WWE very recently, so I don't see them bringing him back. And yes, I know more, but I'm not going to go there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But my bad. Okay. So all right. So I'm gonna go with Santina, and you're gonna go with the champion Charlotte Flair.
Because yes,
I think that her and Alexa Bliss are both still the champs, right? So it's neither one of them. I think my real answer will be.
well, let me tell you who's in it first, and then you pick.
You're gonna go through all 30 people.
They haven't announced all 30, so I'll say the top that they've announced so far.
Okay.
Naomi, Asuka, who's my pick. That's my pick.
Yeah. Asuka. Yeah.
Ruby Riott, Natalya, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Carmella, Tamina, Lana, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Mickie James, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, Alicia Fox, and Dana Brooke.
Did you say that there's somebody named Amanda Rhodes? Is that what her name is?
Mandy Rose.
Mandy Rose. I was like, they made a Rhodes? Those sons of bitches. I was like, wow. Okay. It's definitely Sasha Banks for me, because that's why. but she's a good-looking girl. What can I say?
Right.
All right. So let's get. What else do we got? What other matches are there?
We also have the Usos, Jay and Jimmy, who are the WWE SmackDown champions.
Oos!
Oh,
thank you. The SmackDown Tag Champs versus who?
Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Ooh, I'm sticking with the Usos as much as I want Shelton to win that.
Now again, we're looking at at least a 4-hour pay-per-view on top of the 2-hour pre-show.
Okay.
And they're doing a 2 out of 3 falls match
On the main card.
on the main card.
God, they really.
And that's a tag match too.
And they really want us to want this to mean something. Like, oh God. All right. So who do you got?
I'm gonna. You know what? For some reason, right now the WWE loves the Usos, so I'm gonna say the Usos.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. They're gonna lose tonight. I'm gonna take this back. I'm gonna go the opposite way because Jimmy or Jay just got a DWI. So in San Antonio. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable on that one because they need it. They need it. Okay. So what's next on the card? What do we got?
We also have for the Raw Tag Team Championship, Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan versus The Bar of Cesaro and Sheamus.
See, this one I have no idea because for me, everyone's saying that Sheamus is hurt. He's gonna have to retire soon. He's probably working all the way to WrestleMania, right? And
I guess.
And at the same time, Jason and Seth, I don't like them as a tag, so I don't know who to go with. Double disqualification. Nobody's winning.
I have a feeling. Well, I don't know if they'll do it tonight, but so I think they're going to eventually do the split of Jason and Seth, where Jason turns on Seth.
Absolutely.
And because right now the way they're doing it is Seth is almost not playing to the crowd's booing of Jason Jordan. Jason reacts to it, but Seth kind of keeps it like even keel. I think he's just going to ignore it, and then Jason will attack him, and he'll try to do some very cheesy, like, well, you have to make a name for yourself, and so I got to do this, and now I'll be good. So, I think they're going to retain here, And I think it'll either be tomorrow night on Raw or a little bit further down the road. Then they're going to do something to split, possibly maybe at the next pay-per-view.
You don't think they're gonna split them and then have them go at it at WrestleMania, dude? That would be such
Oh,
a
I totally
waste.
think they're going to go at it at WrestleMania.
Oh, that'd be such a waste for Seth, though. I feel bad.
Because I don't think they're going to string this out much longer. I don't see them stringing it out to WrestleMania as a team. So I guess the only way to do it is that they split them. It's a storyline, and then they go at it at each other at WrestleMania. Otherwise, what is Seth Rollins going to do at WrestleMania?
I mean, he could do a lot of different stuff.
I agree, but the way WWE books and plans things out, I just don't see another thing for him immediately.
Maybe they will injure. They'll Jason Jordan will injure him, and then it will get Kurt versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
There you go.
Yeah, Daddy has to take care of his son. All right, what do we got? What do we got next?
I like that. See, you should be booking the WWE.
Thank you. Ooh, do you think Kurt will be in the Rumble tonight?
If well, you know what? If Daniel Bryan, I almost did the other name. If Daniel Bryan is in the Royal Rumble,
you just kind of switch them up. So.
Right. I mean, hey, why not? We've seen Stranger Things, and then we've also seen Stranger Things in the WWE. But that was a really bad joke, and nobody got it. Thank you. So. I don't actually think we'll see Kurt Angle in the Royal Rumble. I think if there was a reason for him to be in it, if they had established some other things, I think he would be. If he gets fired from being the GM, I would have seen it, but I just don't see him in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, well, they don't have a lot of surprises left.
You don't know. Because I think like when you looked at Raw 25, it seemed like if you look at some social media comments from Sunny that some female talent were very upset that they weren't asked to be a part of Raw 25. But
who gives a shit what Sunny says? I'm gonna put it right out there.
Right, there's that too. But and I think there was a lot of people who were like, wait a minute, we didn't get all these great appearances on Raw 25. And it's like they gave a lot of appearances on Raw 25. They just didn't give a lot of time to them. So I don't know if that means we're going to see Trish Stratus at the Royal Rumble. We're going to see Lita. We're going to see, all these other names that we had at Raw 25 or more names, because we didn't get Lita at Raw 25. We didn't get Stacy Keibler. We didn't get some other people that I think thought might make a return at Raw 25. So maybe now they'll make a return at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And they're definitely going to throw some surprises into both of the Rumbles.
Exactly.
I would expect to see Lita. Well, didn't Lita have like a neck injury? Didn't she retire or something like that?
Yes, I believe that was her injury.
Yeah, and then Trish had a bunch of kids and whatnot. She could have easily come back on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Beth Phoenix, yeah, she's
girl.
She's healthy, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. So Kurt, we're looking at Kurt as a surprise in the Rumble.
He's your surprise.
Yeah, that's my surprise. Who do you think? Who else? Anybody?
I really don't know, because other than maybe somebody from NXT that we're not expecting, either Velveteen Dream or Adam Cole, like, oh my gosh, what are they doing here? I really don't see anybody else.
Yeah, I can see Adam Cole being in the Rumble for sure, and then him losing, and he's not obviously winning, but then just to pop the Philly crowd, basically,
Right.
Yeah. So then, who do you have winning the Rumble? We'll just go right to it.
I kind of think they're leaning towards Roman Reigns. I really hope I'm wrong.
Yeah,
but I really
they're
think
definitely leaning towards Reigns. I'll back you on that too.
You know what? I will say my top pick, not by choice, is Roman Reigns, because I think that's what they're going to do. My top pick in a perfect world situation is Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy, wow. You think so?
They so suddenly dropped his feud with Bray Wyatt, or it seemingly felt like they dropped his feud at Raw 25. Why do anything at this point? Like, why do anything else with the Woken character or with Bray Wyatt? Because the way that match went seemed like, okay, that was the end. There didn't seem to be a continuation after that. So I think this would be a very interesting thing that they have not done. It'd be Matt Hardy. There'd be a more gimmick-driven character in the main event.
Mm-hmm. I think
that's something we haven't seen in a while. I don't think they'll do it, but I don't know. I would like that.
I don't think they're doing it because he just filmed something with his son on his YouTube page, and they're talking about Bray Wyatt the whole time. That was like yesterday or something like that. That they posted that where he's like, "Oh, King Maxwell, I knew you'd come."
That's more brother love.
I love you.
There you go, brother love. Surprise entrant.
Oh yeah.
But then again, they have also been. There's been rumors about a not a Wyatt compound, but a Hardy compound match again. This time at WrestleMania.
Oh,
so
God.
A pre-filmed thing like they did for Impact that they do now for WrestleMania.
See, so there was that whole thing, the big controversy with the Manhattan Center and how the people in the audience had to sit there the whole time and watch everything that was happening at the Barclays. But that's what happens when you do a simulcast. But at the same time, like, if they were to do that, could you imagine doing that at WrestleMania, where like you paid thousands and thousands of dollars. Where's Mania this year?
New Orleans.
I thought it was New Orleans. You go all the way down to Louisiana from, I don't know, some third world country, and you sit there and you watch something that's happening in Matt Hardy's backyard. How mad would you be? I would be so mad if that were to happen to me.
Well, the thing is, I think there's different ways they can do it. They could film small segments at a time that they showcase throughout the entirety of WrestleMania.
Okay.
I mean, in the day, WWE pay-per-views used to have a live intermission, like literally a 5-minute break that they had a countdown clock and nothing was happening on the screen.
Right.
So, and now the way they film that is all of a sudden you get like 4 promos back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
And that's just because they need some reset time in production and reset time for their talent.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also, if they did it kind of in the sense of where they did Gold Dust and Roddy Piper with the backlot brawl, where they did all that and they beat it up and then they took the OJ footage and drove down. Those were different interruptions that they did. And then they battle out and stuff like that. I could see that happening too, but still, sitting down and watching like a 10-minute cinematic woken of the minds literally between Bray and woken Matt Hardy. I would be mad if I went all the way down to New Orleans for that.
At the same time, the top-rated Impact of the last probably 5 years was the Wyatt Compound show.
Yeah,
and
but
if
the difference is that you watch that in the comfort of your own home, and that's where the ratings come from. I'm talking about literally like flying down to New Orleans, spending over $1,000 for going to all the Hall of Fames and things like that, and the big segment, like, because in your theory, you're saying if in your fantasy booking of Matt Hardy winning, right? So the main event of the show is going to be you sitting in WrestleMania in New Orleans, watching a big screen of something that Matt Hardy filmed in his backyard. I would be so mad.
or they do it in perfect Hardy fashion. They start it there and because of the connection to the deities that have woken up with Matt Hardy, he teleports himself and whoever he is against, possibly Bray Wyatt, into New Orleans, and they finish the match in the ring in New Orleans.
Yeah, exactly. The battle out
where
from the curtains.
Jeff Hardy returns as woken Jeff Hardy.
Well, wouldn't he be woken Nero?
Yeah, that's his legal middle name, so he can be woken Nero.
Yeah, well, also they Impact also announced that you can have whatever gimmick that you had before. I think too, right? Yeah.
Which had already been established in court. I don't know why it was such a big deal. Anyway,
exactly.
That's a whole other conversation.
All right, so is there any more to this card? Is that
2 more matches.
2 more matches. Look at I already froze right in that transition. I froze over. I don't even know what I'm looking at right here. All right, so wake up, Timmy, wake up. All right, so what are the other matches that we have?
We have a handicap match for the WWE Championship. Champion AJ Styles takes on the team of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, better known, I think, as Cammy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So what is the buildup of this? How did we get here?
So, if you might remember or go back a little bit, Sami Zayn helped Kevin Owens out in his Hell in the Cell match against Shane McMahon,
Yes.
pulling him away from the table before Shane McMahon came off. That put them together as a team. Now AJ Styles has been fighting against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and their shenanigans to try to take the title. Well, now it's going to be this 2-on-1 match. If the team of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn wins, they become the first ever WWE champions.
Okay, and then that'll split them up, right? And then they'll go to WrestleMania and battle each other. They'll probably lose the title in between them, but they won't be friends anymore. And they'll have their big blow up WrestleMania match. Is that?
I could see that because it's so easily put together. Is that, well, I'm the champion. Well, I'm the better champion. Well, no, I'm the champion. You know, it becomes that kind of argument.
It'll be Kane and Daniel Bryan all over again.
Exactly.
I'm the tag team champion. that whole deal. Yeah, I could see them winning, but then, oh, okay, all right, here we go. They're gonna win. All right, they're winning. Then the two of them will get into the battle that they're saying, and then at WrestleMania we're gonna have the triple threat: AJ, Kevin, and Sammy. Bam.
Or they win, they do the little feud between each other leading into WrestleMania. They face each other off at WrestleMania, and they have Kevin Owens do the finger poke of doom. Sami Zayn gets beat in 15 seconds, a la, the shortest WrestleMania match ever, because that's how they could do it and save time on what we know is going to be a 7-hour WrestleMania.
All right, so I made a lot of money last year. I decided, hey, you know what, guys? This year I'm going to go to WrestleMania. Where is it? New Orleans. Fantastic. I'm going to go there for about a week this time. I'm really excited for the whole show. What's the card? So, you got to get there at, 4 o'clock to get your seats, okay?
In the morning.
4:30 in the morning to grab your seats. And, you got to wait there all day. The two main events that we're looking at right now are Matt Hardy having a battle in his backyard. and then what else? We're also going to have Frozen Timmy's camera and
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a finger poke of doom match.
And Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in a finger poke of doom to really just end the show and make it exactly what we want. This is fantastic fantasy booking, ladies and gentlemen.
But we're not done yet.
We're not done yet. All right, what else do we got now?
Just in case your mind couldn't take any more.
Okay.
It's going to be a triple threat for the WWE Universal Championship. You think the same person might be writing both shows because you have a handicap match with 3 people on one side and a triple threat on the other side.
Right.
You have Kane versus Braun Strowman versus your champion, Brock Lesnar.
Okay, so once again, all right. So Kane versus Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
They're keeping the belt on Brock. Because I don't know. I don't know who he's gonna fight at WrestleMania. I guess maybe the Undertaker is gonna come back again, right? And Brock's gonna have to kill him for the 3rd time, right? And then that'll be it.
I mean, realistically, and though I'm not saying of that, I think he's totally there, but at the same time, I think Braun Strowman is realistically, when you look at people in the WWE right now, realistically the only person who should be able to take out Brock Lesnar, and that does nothing to damage Brock Lesnar's reputation because look at the size of Braun Strowman.
Right.
I think it would make sense if it was Braun Strowman. Do I think Braun Strowman necessarily should have that title, that he should go into WrestleMania? Maybe not necessarily, but at the same time, it's time for Brock, and then who else you're going to put on? You're going to do Brock versus Roman Reigns again?
Yeah.
Is there somebody we're not seeing? Are we going to smell what The Rock is cooking by the end of Royal Rumble? I don't know.
You think that Dwayne is looking for that payday right now?
Am I saying that the president of the United States in 2020 is going to be in the Royal Rumble? I don't know.
We have no idea.
And I don't mean Oprah.
Oh, that would be that. There's a women's rumble now this year. Congratulations, Oprah. You did it.
Out comes Oprah.
All right, I'm going with Brock. You're gonna go with Braun. If Braun wins, that'll be sick because I think he's there for sure. But that's about it. I guess for this hour-long lead-in to WrestleMania. But
it's an hour-long lead-in for a 7-hour event.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I need a nap before this show because I'm gonna be up till freaking 2 in the morning, just trying to watch the main event. Phil, thank you so much for jumping onto the show today.
Anytime.
And I hope you enjoy the show. Don't miss any of those pre-show matches; they're really important. And yeah, we'll do it again for the next one.
Sounds good. Live long and prosper.
I got it.